YouTube. Welcome back to another Friday Reads video, complete with sunlight. You'll see it streaming through this window. Unfortunately, it's just the direction I'm going. So for those of you who haven't seen the sunlight in quite a while like we haven't, enjoy. There it is again. So I finished listening to The House of Whispers by Laura Purcell. This book is also known as Bone China. It's my third encounter with one of her novels. My first one was Silent Companions, my all-time favorite. The second was The Poison Thread, also known as The Corset, and now The House of Whispers. This is my third favorite out of that list, basically in order: Silent Companions, Poison Thread, then The House of Whispers. It's another gothic thriller and has all the gothic tropes that you want, atmospheric-wise and everything, and character-wise too. In this particular novel, we follow Hester Y. She is traveling to Cornwall to a place called Morvern House to take care of an elderly woman named Louise Prescott, or sorry, I keep wanting to call her Prescott, Louise Pinecroft. She has recently suffered a stroke and is nearly mute and can't move around very well. And those are like our two main characters through the book, and we kind of follow different timelines of each of these characters. Like I said, it begins with Hester Y. She has a questionable background. She has left her former employment under weird circumstances. She's changed her name to hide her identity, to keep her from being traced. And she's not kind of character. She definitely has a need to feel needed, indispensable, to feel loved with regards to her charges. Like no one else can take care of them better than her. And it's she's not the best person, probably, in a way. She does have a bit of a drinking problem. She travels with a little flask of gin everywhere, and when she runs out of gin and she's at Morvern House, she ends up turning to laudanum, and she fully kind of questions her judgment throughout the storyline as to what she's encountering. Is she's a little bit, drugged out, whatever. But she's taking care of this elderly woman named Louise Pinecroft, who spends most of her days in a room on the lower level, kind of a cold, damp room, not good for someone who's elderly, who's recently suffered an illness. And she seems terrified to leave. She doesn't want to leave this room. It's surrounded by cabinets of this china, this bone china, hence the other version of the title, which I think fits better than The House of Whispers. And the house has been kind of run by the housemaid by the name of Creta, an odd character who's in a way tied to this china that's in the home. She's very superstitious woman. She's very into folklore and believing in fairies and changelings, and her beliefs have kind of spread to the rest of the staff, who are kind of ruled by this fear of this, perhaps Louise Pinecroft as well. And this is what Hester Y has kind of come into now, and kind of challenging these superstitions and things like that. But it definitely has a really good chilling atmosphere. It has, like I said, everything you want in a gothic thriller, with a kind of large mansion, different rooms. It's up on a cliff with caves beneath, and these caves play a part in Louise Pinecroft's past. Her father was a doctor who was trying to find a cure for tuberculosis at the time, and in that time frame, people thought that like sea air and things like that were beneficial for people that had consumption. So he was bringing patients, in this case prisoners, to stay down below in the caves as a trial to kind of see if this was something that would be a cure. So there's a whole history of Louise in this home. She spent most of her life in this home. A lot of weird events happening and like I say, interesting characters. Crete is a strange character. We find a little bit more about her past too, and then this China and stuff. But I felt a little bit lacking in Hester's background. I mean, we know there's something questionable about her character, but we didn't delve too much into a lot of her past charges that she's had. It seems like she's had quite a few. I felt that story tapered off a little bit. I would have liked a little bit more in depth with her, and then it seemed to end a little bit abruptly for me. But overall, I did enjoy the experience of the story, and I like her writing a lot. I definitely, if you're wanting to try one of her books, I would start out with The Silent Companions, because that's still, I have images of that book in my head that were just amazing. In terms of what I'm continuing to read, I'm going to pull out my little iPad here. Bring that up. I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I am currently reading The Daughters of Block Island by Krista Carmen. This follows two sisters who didn't really know each other. One who grew up on the island, and one who went into foster care, never knew her mother, never knew she had a sister, ends up finding out about this, goes to Block Island, and ends up being murdered. And just before that has written a letter to her sister after confronting their mother and stuff. And now the sister has gone back to the island where she has not been in some time. She kind of left and didn't have a really good relationship with her mom either, but she's gone to question like the circumstances as to why she never knew she had a sister, why she got rid of her, and maybe to uncover why she was killed. So you've got a really good kind of gothic thriller, definite mystery, murder mystery going on, and lots of secret passageways and hidden in these homes, and it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. And then since I finished my audiobook of The House of Whispers, I picked up a new audio. This is Half of the Yellow Sun by Chimamanda. Oops, I just lost it. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Now, I've never read anything by her. I've heard she's a really good author. And especially when there's books like set in like Nigeria or any African one, I kind of like the audio versions of them. Just hearing the voices and the dialects and things like that, it just kind of makes the story come a little bit more alive. I don't really know a whole lot about this book. I just picked one of her books. It just says this particular story illuminates a seminal moment in modern African history, Biafra's impassioned struggle to establish an independent republic in southeastern Nigeria during the late 1960s. And we experienced this tumultuous decade alongside 5 unforgettable characters. Ugu, a 13-year-old houseboy who works for Odenigbo, a university professor full of revolutionary zeal. Olana, the professor's beautiful young mistress, who has abandoned her life in Lagos for a dusty town and her lover's charm. I've met those two already in the storyline. And then there's another one I haven't encountered yet. A man named Richard, a shy young Englishman infatuated with Olana's willful twin sister, Kainene. Half of the Yellow Sun is a tremendously evocative novel of the promise of hope and disappointment of the Biafran War. So I know nothing about this moment in history, so another reason it would be interesting to read this one. So that's my current audiobook, my current ebook, and yeah, I hope you guys are reading something good. Let me know down below, and I'm going to go off to work before I'm late. See you later, BookTube.